What is up, everyone? P-Don's here, and we are back with the final episode of View from the Office for this WBE season. Now, this week, Steph took on Zoe 2 Dots to conclude her season. We didn't have a chance to make playoffs, so we just decided to go back to some of our tried and true stuff, and Zoe decided to bring a, well, best way to put it is a meme. Also, one of the things that they called a meme, we had actually been using to effect, so I don't know if I would call that a meme, but the point is, the set got pretty memey. Now, I didn't end up recording one of these episodes for Poise, because Steph mostly did everything right in that video, so I don't think it would have been a great one. I'm just going to point out the one thing she could have done a little bit differently at this point. At the end of Game 2 against Poise, she had this situation where she got down to a 2v1 with Rabombi and Cinderace versus a Scarf Charizard. At this point, our playoff hopes are very slim, and it might be coming down to Mon differential. So what Steph should have done here was, instead of just sucker punching the Scarf Charizard and going for Moonblast, she should have helping hand it with Rabombi and sucker punch with the Cinderace to try to take the Charizard out in one shot and to keep the Rabombi alive. It's a small minor thing. She ended up winning 2-0. And playoff cutoff ended up being 5 wins, not 4, so it didn't really matter anyway. But you're always looking for optimization and ways to get better, and recognizing game situations is one way to do it. Now, we go back to this team, and Zoe had like 3 grass types on it. Trying to think. There was Shiftry, there was Lilligant that she could have brought. I'm not remembering the last one right now, but the point is, between that and safety goggles, Shiftry can also get foul play. I think she had knockoff potential as well. Running Tangela Snorlax was not a good idea here. Now, if we had a follow meme on, I probably would have just sent Steph out with the follow me, belly drum, go nuts. But we weren't really able to do that this week, so we ended up going back to some of the stuff we used to use, including the Cinderace Riolu combo with the coaching. We went back to a more bulky Assault Vest Snorlax. In practice, this thing was like getting 5-hit KO'd by Zoe's Mon, so it was able to stick around, do a lot of work, and basically just wear Zoe's team down. Zoe had used a lot of like physical defense at one point, because she had 4 Mons that could potentially Acid Armor or Iron Defense, and that got going, we would have a problem. Especially because some of them were ground types or had ground type attacks. So we ended up using a Duraludon that could break through some of these mons. And we also determined that in the right position, Dracloak Colossal could sweep Zoe's entire team. The biggest threat was Lilycole, but in testing, we were able to find ways to get the Dracloak Colossal combo around Lilycole, and we were just kind of able to deal with the whole team that way. Also, Cinderace this week was EV'd to outspeed the Togedemaru and the Mimikyu by 1, with the Dracloak being EV'd to outspeed them by 3. Essentially, Dracloak's EVs wouldn't allow us to outspeed by 2, so we just took the extra speed point and gracefully took it. And by doing that, we were able to essentially surf with the Draclock into a Mimikyu, and then Cinderace would be able to finish it off once the disguise was broken. We made a calculated call that because of how hard Cinderace can hit and how fast it is, the fact that we had a Draclock Colossal and that Duraludon was kind of resisted all of this mon's attacks, we felt that Galvantula was not coming. We practiced against 10 Mons, and we basically just punted on Galvantula. We truly did not see that thing coming, and of course, Zoe made it her centerpiece. So let's jump into the match now. All right, so seeing this, I would be a little bit worried because I wouldn't know what was coming. But at the same time, the Draclock Colossal we determined to be the safest lead. So looking at this, we could bring out the Draclock and Colossal, have strong supportive Mons in the back that can clean up a game, and yeah, we just take Zoe's best shot and go from there.
Is Trick Room mode going to be an option? Yeah, for sure. So if there's a Trick Room lead, I don't want to lead with my Riolu Cinderace. So I think we rock.
We did do Trick Room Mr. Mime and Trick Room Mime Jr. in practice. So, and of course, Mimikyu can also use Trick Room.
Torkoal, it's a really great lead for her. She's going to go with that. So yeah, all right, here we go. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm so heavy nervous. Okay, I gotta pay attention. Items, speed tiers. Will Steph ever know something is Scarf? I'm feeling it's nothing.
Spoiler alert, no.
Chandelure was the thing I was thinking was Scarf. Which means Steph doesn't have to ignore Choice Scarf this time. Okay, good luck, have fun, Zoe. Your trainer card is so cute. I love it. Okay. Oh man. Torkoal? And Galvantula.
Okay, so at this point, I'm like, what the hell is this? It probably would not occur to me in the moment that Galvantula actually gets Speed Swap, and the Torkoal can Dynamax and Max Quake our Colossal before the Draclock can move. Now, this is a very risky bring and a very risky lead for Zoe anyway, because Draclock could easily be Scarfed as well. And if the Draclock is Scarfed, then it's going to outspeed the Galvantula. We'll get the Surf off, and the Weakness Policy off, and the Steam Engine off, and Torkoal will drop before the Galvantula can do anything. Or we could just Max Rockfall the Galvantula, bring it down to a supposed Sash, and then the Sand will chip it away at the end of the turn. I do understand the unnerve here, though. After we brought the Snorlax the way we have for the past 3-4 weeks, that's a good way to kind of mess up our strategies a little bit. But here, this play is absolutely optimal from Steph. Yeah, I agree 100% with the play Steph made. Okay, so this right here is a dead giveaway that is Max Speed Torkoal. And if I was playing the match, I would probably do some sort of damage calc just to be 100% sure. But when you consider that Turbo Shroom, aka Max Speed Among Us, is 90 speed, Torkoal has a slower base speed than Amoonguss, and the fact that our Colossal is 79 speed in order to guarantee the outspeed of a Lilligant in Sun with Chlorophyll. That basically means that this Torkoal's speed is somewhere in between 79 and 90. And as it turns out, Torkoal's max speed is 79. So this Torkoal and our Colossal are speed tying, which tells me too that the Torkoal is not going to be as bulky, so we should be able to do a lot of damage with a max rock ball, regardless of whether or not we get the weakness policy off.
Wait. Is that Torkoal faster than my Colossal? I did Dynamax, right? I definitely did. Okay, so Torkoal is faster than the Colossal. So not the second variant. Interesting. Very interesting. Speed swap Galvantula? What?
You guys have no idea how unfortunate that was. Here's the calc. We would have gotten the if we got the max rockfall off, would have been +2. It would have one-shotted the Torkoal even with the special defense increase. But here's how much that max quake was doing to our Colossal. 252 special attack Torkoal, 20 HP Dynamax Colossal, 65% to 77%. And if we go to our Draclock and take a look at the Surf, we were doing 17.9 to 21.1. Even with 2 max rolls, 21.1 plus 77.2 does not equal 100%. So Steph should have easily been able to get the max rockfall off and crush that Dynamax Torkoal and have a very fast Colossal for the rest of the game. To be completely blunt, this crit mattered. It mattered significantly. It affected the entire set. And I truly believe that if we did not get crit by this Max Quake, we would win the set 2-0. It's really a shame. But these things happen, and you have to play on, and this game is not over yet. You just have to keep playing optimally and keep your cool and gather the information that you can from something like this. Like, for example, Torkoal's not as bulky. The Galvantula is probably not doing much. It's definitely very slow right now. So you keep your cool, and you try to win this game with the Draclock, which can still do some breaking swipes, Phantom Forces, still ally switch support, and you still have Cinderace and Duraludon. This is not over.
I don't know if that crit mattered. I'm shook. Oh god, did we just toss Torkoal? Okay.
Alright, so I actually misspoke. I said Duraludon, I meant Snorlax. But yeah, Snorlax absolutely has to come in here to stall the Dynamax. It's extremely bulky, and you know it's not hitting that hard. So, yeah. But Steph elects to switch in the Cinderace. All right, so here I would hard switch into the Snorlax, and I would Phantom Force to try to stall out the remaining turns of Dynamax.
I can't believe it. Big F. Okay. I'm trying not to freak out. I'm just wondering if Bounce is the play to stall out here.
Steph is at least thinking about that, which is good. And I guess it's also alright that the Snorlax is coming in, but I would have rather have seen the Cinderace be in the back for the late game.
Okay, we do live that, Max. Which is really nice.
Living that max also shows the strength that Torkoal has. Like, we know it's timid. We know it's not. We basically know it's not a modest one, so it's not going to be doing as much. And we also see that it probably doesn't have some sort of item that can boost its stats. So yeah, just stall out the Dynamax with some of your walls and get to it.
Wow, Zoe. That's so mean.
I do hesitate to call this a meme, though, because we were doing Rabombi and Snorlax, and Rabombi and even Duraludon this whole season with the speed swap. Zoe also has something even better that would be considered a meme. Alright, so that's good. That actually kind of helps because our Cinderace is Life Orb, and we would faint from that. Alright, so Dynamax is stalled out. At this point, I ignore the Galvantula and start focusing down on Torkoal. Maybe even swap out the Cinderace to do so. But I can understand getting damage on the Torkoal now. I'm alright with either Break and Swipe or Phantom Force here. Phantom Force, I guess, helps a little bit more for potentially gathering information. It's a lot of damage, but Cinderace goes down. I don't think it's impossible for Dracloak and Snorlax to bring this back, but Steph kind of has to play perfectly at this point. The good news too with the String Shot from the Galvantula, we have one Pokemon that's not affected because of a Clear Body, and the other one is slow as hell. Alright, once again, I am still doubling down this Torkoal. Get rid of it. Galvantula hasn't shown anything except support, so I don't know what it's going to do. And besides, Snorlax is extremely bulky specially, but you can kind of just have the Galvantula just sit there. It's not hitting our Mons that hard.
Man. Well played. That is so cheeky. Oh gosh. I mean, Snorlax could sometimes, you know, 1v4 it. Not sure how I feel in this case. Okay.
Alright, so Zoe actually makes the right play here and gets rid of the Galvantula to give more support to her side. Yeah, that Earth Power was pathetic damage. Assault Vest, bulky Snorlax, everyone. And yes, that's good. That's a good turn for Steph. Alright, so knowing what's in the back, the Galvantula that's kind of supportive, and the fact that the Lilligant tends to be supportive, but its offense isn't going to do too much against Snorlax and Dracloak, I take down the Lilligant, and I force the Galvantula back in. I then take down the Sliggoo, and then we can take down the Galvantula late game. Lilligant can still be a problem because of Sleep Powder, so getting rid of it I feel is a top priority. But Steph choosing to conserve the ally switch is a good idea. Alright, so that was kind of big actually. It's not so much that the Lilligant used Pollen Puff, it's that the Lilligant went before the Dracloak. Once again, a Scarf Pokemon. Zoe has chosen to Scarf Lilligant, which makes me also think that if you're using Scarf, you're probably not Chlorophyll. And if you're not Chlorophyll, maybe your own Tempo. It's something we practice in preparing for Zoe, because we had a feeling some meme was coming. Own Tempo Lilligant and Dynamaxed Mime Jr. Because of the practice, I see that the Lilligant here is Scarf, outspeeding our Dracloak. I am now suspicious for the rest of the set. Also, for more immediate concerns, the Lilligant is locked into Pollen Puff and is committed to healing the Sliggoo. So, Steph should absolutely be trying to take down the Lilligant now. Force the Galvantula back in. A Mon that's not going to do too much. The Breaking Swipes from the Dracloak will take care of the Sliggoo's attack stat. And if Steph is able to focus down on the Lilligant here, and then switch our attention to the Sliggoo, we can probably win this game. Curse is very tricky, especially since it's now boosting its defense. So yeah, it's boosting its defense, and we have a problem, because now it's also going to be healing back. But Steph needs to focus, realize that the Break and Swipes are negating the attack boost, and take down the Lilligant before it's able to heal up the Sliggoo to full health constantly. As you can see, Zoe's just looking to heal the Sliggoo, which is good. It's good for her. Break and Swipe is excellent. Negates the curses. And we do see the Outrage.
Now it's locked into Outrage.
I disagree with that target. Basically, we KO the Lilligant. We're probably good here. Because I saw the outrage too, I probably Phantom Force here, if I'm going to be completely honest. If the Galvantula is on the field. We need to take out the Lilligant. So Break and Swipe is probably good here. Problem is, it's a 50% chance to hit the Draclock, and that's not something we want. Yeah, we kind of need that to lax. So if Galvantula was on the field, that's absolutely a Phantom Force turn. But we also needed to take out the Lilligant. So I understand the Break and Swipe. Alright, so Steph's best chance to win this game has to do with confusion at this point. I don't think at like +2 she's gonna have enough to be able to double-edge Sliggoo. So it might be better to focus on the Galvantula and try to get some confusion hits. Alright, so Infestation reveals that this is a totally supportive Galvantula. Alright. Yeah, if not for the after effects of Infestation, we could have actually won this game. And obviously, the turn one crit that basically changed this whole series. It's not really too much you can do here. You just have to hope for a double-edge crit onto the Galvantula, or that you have enough attack to be able to KO the Galvantula in one shot. And unfortunately, we're kind of bulky here. We do get the self-confusion hit, which does give us an out. But the Galvantula lives this, so we're done. Alright, so at this point, I would have absolutely have done a damage calc and have seen how much that Torkoal was actually doing to us. So I would lead the same thing again and try and force them to get lucky again. And also, I'm probably ally switching turn 1. There's a good chance that we are going to see a repeat of the same thing in game 1, but she can ally switch. No, Steph can ally switch, and Zoe can max Quake the Draclock. Because yeah, I would not think Zoe would be calling the ally switch from the Draclock. It's not something we showed. So, yeah, I absolutely agree, Steph. As for adjustments Zoe can make that I might be thinking about, I would be a little bit worried about Mimikyu in the back, but yeah, I still like Draclock Colossal a lot. Yeah, at this point, G-Max, sorry, not G-Max, Dynamax the Colossal. We know the Torkoal is not that strong, so Max Rockfall it, and then Ally Switch. Even if the Torkoal remains alive, we have Ally Switch pressure on the next turn, or we could surf it as well.
We'll go heavier on the ally switch. We have a lot of options. We also have Protect on the coal. Okay, Zoe did not use Dynamax.
Alright, so Zoe actually doesn't Dynamax the Torkoal. Maybe Sliggoo, maybe? She doesn't have many obvious Dynamax. Cause that's right, she wanted to probably boost herself with a Shell Smash. But by doing that, the Max Rockfall one-shots the Torkoal guaranteed. And Torkoal just jumped out of the boat and into the water. Bye, Torkoal! As Steph might go.
Right? They did speed swap that turn? I haven't been writing it down. I think so. I think the speed swap still happened.
Alright, so our position is very strong at this point. We still have to worry about a Dynamax. But we now have a pretty easy Surf to activate our weakness policy. The Sand's up too, so we won't even take that much damage. And yeah, we could probably just Max Rockfall the Sliggoo as well. Oh, almost forgot. Galvantula didn't take Sandstorm damage. So they chose to Safety Goggles the Galvantula. They were committed to Speed Swap at all costs this week, I guess. Basically, had we brought Tangela, we would not have been able to stop the Speed Swap. So I understand the Goggles there, but at the same time, you got 3 other Grass types, you got a Torkoal, got a Chandelure. It will be very hard for us to bring Tangela this week, even with redirection. Yeah, at this point, it's just Surf and Max Rockfall the Sliggoo. If you want to get the guaranteed KO, you can also even do Galvantula.
You're gonna take out the Sliggoo. Sliggoo's the thing that can set up. That Galvantula's got a lot of support stuff.
Good reason and stuff.
What a cool tech. I cannot get over that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this big boy! I love him.
Okay. Easy Surf. Doesn't do too much to us.
Weakness policy is activated. We're now super fast.
Yeah, that's still not a lot of damage. I still go into the Sliggoo. Because you're not 100% sure if it's going to Dynamax, and if it doesn't, you're doing a lot of damage to it. But now that she's committed the Dynamax, so we know it's a Sliggoo and it's 2 turns left, This is where I would start picking off the partners, and then finish the Sliggoo off when it gets out of Dynamax. Yes. Yeah, I would send the Snorlax here as well. Good call, Steph. Max Rock Fall into the Galvantula, get rid of it, and just start chipping away at the Sliggoo. Alright, good play, Steph. That spider just got squashed. And this double edge should do a reasonable amount to the Sliggoo. And the Rockfall didn't even do too much to the Colossal, so yeah, we're sitting good. How this game went is how all 3 games could have conceivably went. Alright, so we know the Lilligant is scarfed, but a Heat Wave to take out the Lilligant, and then just double edge Sliggoo to try to get rid of it, and we should tie this game up, this series up. I mean. I'm okay with attacking here. Yes, protect off Dynamax, that's not bad, but you don't want to give the Lilligant a chance to start doing Pollen Puffs. Also, it's good to point out that a +4 Colossal that had its speed reduced by 2 since the Steam Engine still outspeeds Scarf Lilligant. Yeah, so after the awful crit in Game 1, that was very well played from Steph, and she was able to navigate the game and the positioning extremely well. Now, here, I'm sending out Draclock Colossal again, and I'm bringing Snorlax and Cinderace in the back. However, this is also Steph's last game in WBE, and Cinderace still had an outside chance to be kill leader. We rode a lot with Cinderace as well, so there might be an emotional attachment to bring Cinderace Riolu. I know I would still go Draclock Colossal, but depending on what you think is coming, you might be able to justify Cinderace and Riolu. But yeah, looking at her team, like, Zoe doesn't have a real good way to stop the Draclock Colossal. But Steph getting crit Game 1 means she did not see the Colossal take that attack. Had she seen that in Game 1 or Game 2 even, she could lead the Draclock Colossal and win. Yeah, one of Steph's weaknesses this year was damage calcs. Had she been able to do the damage calc to see what the Torkoal actually does to the Colossal, she would be in a position where she could see that the Torkoal was generally not going to kill the Colossal, and leading Dracula Colossal would have been safe. But I can understand the emotional attachment to Cinderace and Riolu, especially when it's your last game in the league for the year. You can win with Cinderace and Riolu. I get it. Alright, so this lead terrifies me. And the reason it terrifies me is because we did practice Teeter Dance Mr. Mime in practice. I mentioned to Steph that the Lilligant can get own tempo. It's probably going to be Chlorophyll, but it does get own tempo. So, adding up, it's Choice Scarf Lilligant, there's a Mr. Mime on the team, and we are expecting leads. Or memes. This is screaming to me that it's after you, Teeter Dance. There are potentially some other things that could happen here, like maybe Sleep Powder and Trick Room, and maybe she wants to set up the Torkoal in that manner, or maybe Mimikyu is slow and it's in the back. Like, after you Trick Room is also possible. It would technically get ahead of the Colossal stuff, but expecting memes, this screams after you Teeter Dance to me. And I don't think we have any other strategy except don't hit ourselves in confusion. Yes, Steph knows the Teeter Dance is coming. At this point, I would actually withdraw the Cinderace and coach the incoming Snorlax. You want to set up a bit of bulk and hold off your Dynamax. Yes, Steph, and you should have conserved your Dynamax.
Also, no swap.
It's still fine if you're able to hit these mons. Alright, so no swap into Torkoal. So, would have been better to coach there. But yeah, after you, and yeah. We did practice Teeter Dance Mime Jr. And most of the games, we maybe hit ourselves once. So at this point, the whole game is RNG. Until you can get rid of the mime. Lilligant's probably getting withdrawn because it's still stuck in a Scarf after you. And it's not really doing much. But I guess you could after you and Trick Room or something. Yeah. Zoe makes a good play there, getting rid of a at that point, useless spot. Alright, 2 confusion hits. 3 confusion hits. And I can't believe they're running this thing offensively.
This is really unfortunate.
That might be even more of a meme than than teeter dancing. Yeah, we couldn't do much about the confusion stuff here. But what we could have done was not Dynamax and swap in the Snorlax. Because the Snorlax would be in a better position to take some of these hits and deal damage with the coaching boost. And we would have Cinderace for the end game.
Dang it, I'm trying to think what's going on here. I should have waited to Dynamax. That's gonna be so good, huh? Oh! Oh my god, because, it nasty brought in. Oh no. Please! Please! The nice one move! Thank you! Oh my god!
Yeah, so I would have agreed with that target of the Mime Jr. and Nasty Plot. At that point, I would have put the Airstream into the Mime Jr. to try and start weakening it. Because that is a 3-shotting a Assault Vest Snorlax.
Alright, at least we don't have to worry about that.
And also Steph is kind of a screwed here by the Rain Dance she set up, calling the Torkoal to switch in. Had she gone for coaching that first turn, the Rain wouldn't be up, and we could have max flared the Mime Jr. on turn 3, and we would have been able to Pyro Ball it in the sun after the Dynamax.
Iron-headed Mime Jr.
4 turns of confusion, and it hit itself 3 times. Wow.
Okay. Life dude.
Yeah, that life do is also significant because Riolu can't come in and feint the Siglu.
Pretty well.
I would bring in Duraludon here. You need to take out the Mime Jr. Because you have to assume that Torkoal is in the back with the Mons that we have and the Mons that Zoe brought. Snorlax can't take any more damage, or it's not going to have enough to be able to beat Torkoal. You bring in the Duraludon instead of the Riolu, you Flash Cannon the Mime Jr., and you hope that's enough to get rid of it. And if Siglu wants to keep life doing, fine. Drop a Draco on it at some point. But you need to get rid of the Mime Jr. and you need to have Snorlax healthy enough to handle Torkoal.
I didn't know if I should just target down the Sliggoo or not. I don't like to leave supportive Pokemon up like this. I really don't like doing that.
Yeah, with this kind of health, unfortunately, the Snorlax is not going to have enough to beat the Torkoal in the back. Duraludon, while strong, is probably not going to be able to 1v3 this team. And Torkoal essentially is an almost... It's basically impossible to beat it now. We need crits. Alright, so we are Assault Vest. We are Thick Fat.
Straight up go for
Rain Dance, High Horsepower the Torkoal, and Prey.
here.
But the problem too is the Torkoal's 79 speed. It's outspeeding the Snorlax.
Wish I had a way to heal my Snorlax right now. But Amy is so strong. Oh, I guess because you don't want to go for the outrage and lock yourself in, or the get your own confusion.
Fortunately, that does 12 damage.
Like 2 damage.
Unfortunately, Life Dew is going to be an issue here. The Riolu has to feint the Torkoal. You have to pray that after the damage done, that the Snorlax is able to hold on from an eruption. That's assuming that Zoe even goes for eruption. And then you have to hope the high horsepower KOs the Torkoal.
I can't believe we're alive right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, coaching is not the best thing here. And the Torkoal has enough to KO with Eruption, but Zoe properly goes for Earth Power instead of Eruption. The problem we have with our Duraludon is that we prepped very hard for Gastrodon this week. 3 Mons had Grass attacks, 2 of them being Solar Beam, because it was the hardest thing to beat in practice. And of course, Gastrodon didn't come. Had we had like Dark Pulse or Thunderbolts on the Torkoal, we could hope for a crit. But by Steph not attacking the Torkoal here, that's game over instantly. The Duraludon does not have enough special defense to survive the Earth Power, and the Riolu is not going to 1v3 this team. It couldn't even 1v1 Kyle's Urshifu all the way back in week 2. That sucks thinking about still. But yeah, Helping Hand, Draco, I mean, trying to kill the Sliggoo, I get it. And of course it misses. But Torkoal was the target here. We had to get rid of Torkoal. Yeah, it just did too much. At this point, you're hoping for a miracle. Just Helping Hand the Draco the Torkoal, and I don't know, see if you can get something going. But the Sliggoo, unfortunately, yeah, the miss was unfortunate, but You have the Torkoal still. The Earth Power would have dropped the Duraludon down to like 11 HP again. And even like Helping Hand, Draco maybe KOs it. I guess in some crazy world, if the Sliggoo actually went down, there was still an outside chance that we could have won this game. But it still would have been extremely difficult to do so. Because, yeah, you got Pollen Puff as well, healing the Torkoal. The 4 Confusions didn't help. But this set was basically lost turn 1, game 1. Because that crit threw off the damage calculations and plans of the whole set. And you know what? It's not exactly an excuse. One of Steph's weakness is damage calculations, and it's something that going forward as she moves through in VGC, she's going to have to learn to either recognize them or be able to do them on the fly. Because if she was able to figure out that the crit was kind of a fluke, and that she always takes that Max Quake, it's Draclock Colossal all 3 games, and much more often than not, the Draclock and Colossal will put us in a winning position, even taking the Max Quake. It's just something as Steph heads into the off season of WBE and into other Pokemon related ventures that we'll just have to get her better at. Looking back throughout the season, I feel like Steph played 5-5 Pokemon, and but wouldn't have had the differential to make the playoffs. Had everything gone right for Steph, I could have seen even as high as 7-3. But we're in a timeline where she made a few errors in her games here and there. Nothing truly drastic, but a lot of these errors just ended up snowballing. And I do think 3-7 is harsh. I think she played better Pokemon than 3-7. But I also think it's fair this season that she didn't make the playoffs. She is still a little bit rough around the edges. Like, this is the 3rd consecutive week that she didn't pick up a choice scarf. Damage calculations, as I mentioned. But it's not all bad. From week 1 to now, her game situation and observations have improved dramatically. She's gotten used to using different mons, so she just hasn't been using Lapras all the time. Her work ethic for this was incredible, and it was an absolute pleasure to work with her. And I hope as we go into other ventures, the off season, whatever Steph decides to do with Mons, whether it be the IRL circuit when it comes back, whether it be more draft leagues, whatever. She's built a good foundation to build off of, and I will keep doing what I can to get her better, and she is going to get it. That I truly believe. So with that, this is Pete Ons, and I'll see you guys later.